Men prefer a false promise to a flat refusal. Cicero. Doublethink is when one believes in two contradictory beliefs at the same time. It is the opposite of cognitive dissonance. The ability to tell lies and genuinely believe them, and to forget any facts that are inconvenient. Advancing doublethink is the elite's defense mechanism from any challenge to their power. The elite know that propaganda will eventually be exposed. But if they can make you lie to yourself, and that was accepted as truth, then they can form a new reality.
Winston, you know how the party keeps power. Now tell me why.
You are ruling us for our own good, because we are not fit to govern ourselves.
That was stupid, Winston. I want intelligence. The party seeks power for its own sake, not as a means but an end. Power over the human mind, and power over all matter, climate, disease, the laws of gravity. Because we control the mind. Reality is inside the skull, Winston. We control the laws of nature. The stars are not light years, but a few kilometers away. If we wished, we could blot them out. Here, that is power. In our world, there will be no love but the love of Big Brother, no laughter but the laugh of triumph over a defeated enemy, no art, no science, no literature, no enjoyment, but always and only, Winston, there will be the thrill of power. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
Doublethink produces an intellectual blindness to a contradiction. Doublethink is simply spinning a story to make the government look good by deliberately lying, but then simultaneously believing the new story as exactly how it happened. Most Americans would look at Baghdad Bob and laugh, knowing that what he is telling you is a lie. And yet we believe these same lies just because they come from our State Department. Think about how the Iraqi citizens would look at Baghdad Bob being the spokesperson for one of the most tyrannical regimes in the world. And yet the typical Iraqi would probably look at us and think that we're crazy for believing our politicians. This doublethink is done not only to mislead the populace, but more importantly those that work for the government. This is important because if the regime participants suddenly get a conscious or change consciousness, the whole system would collapse because nobody would be there to run the system. An example would be just the military. They have to believe that they're fighting for freedom, but in reality what they're doing is enslaving populations for private profit. The people can always be brought to the bidding of its leaders. Tell them that they are being attacked, and denounce peacemakers for a lack of patriotism and for exposing the country to danger. Hermann Göring. Everything the state says is a lie, and everything that it has is stolen. Friedrich Nietzsche. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic, or military consequences of the lie. It is thus vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus by the extension the state is the greatest enemy of the truth. Joseph Goebbels. We are an empire now, and when we act, we create our own reality. And while you're studying that reality judiciously as you will, we will act again, creating other new realities, which you can study too, and that's how things are going to sort out. We're history's actors, and you, all of you, will just be left to study what we do. Karl Rove. The Nazi theory specifically denies that there is such a thing as the truth. The implied objective of this line of thought is a nightmare world in which the leader, or some ruling clique, controls not only the future but the past. If the leader says of such and such an event, it never happened, well, it never happened. If he says 2 and 2 are 5, well, 2 and 2 are 5. This prospect frightens me more than bombs. George Orwell. Think about how many lies the elite tell us, and yet we come to accept them as the truth. Does anybody believe the government unemployment numbers? Does anybody believe in the strong dollar policy, or that inflation is really low? Does anybody really believe that we are the land of the free and home of the brave? People will accept lies if their lives get better. As their lives get worse, they will inevitably ask questions. And as their lives disintegrate, they will start looking for both answers and suspects. Mike Rupert. In a world of universal deceit, and an emperor not wearing clothes, it is time to tell the truth. We will know our disinformation program is complete when everything the public believes is false. William Casey, director of the CIA, in his first address to his staff in 1981.